Ever notice the man everyone underestimates? No money, no status, no flashy clothes, who somehow gets the woman every rich suitor thought they'd win? It looks unfair. It's not luck, it's strategy. Machiavelli mapped this battlefield centuries ago. He didn't teach charm, he taught power. Today you get 5 ruthless laws that turn your presence into armor and your absence into leverage. Stay to the end. The final law is the one that turns curiosity into quiet obsession. 1. Presence over possessions. Presence is a weapon. Not constant availability, that's surrender. The dangerous man pries silence open and lets value pour in by withholding. He's not needy, he's deliberate. Think Daniel, hard-working, broke, present to a fault. He answers instantly, cancels plans, rearranges his life to be her safety net. At first it wins trust. Then it flattens desire. She stops chasing. She stops wondering. He becomes predictable. Predictable dies. You're not punished for caring, you're punished for letting caring become your identity. Real power isn't proving you exist, it's proving your life has its own gravity. Show up fully when it counts. Live a life that makes her choice meaningful, not convenient. That's how presence becomes rare, and rarity breeds value. Small moves that shift the field. Protect your time, keep plans outside of her orbit, let your attention be earned. Not cruel, selective. You are not performing, you are calibrating. The moment you treat your life as optional, someone else will make it essential. Which will you be? The rarity of true presence. Silence is the currency most men spend like pocket change. The rare man spends silence like a minted coin. Everyone fills the air with noise, wit, and staged vulnerability. You don't. You make moments heavy. You become the pause that makes words matter. David is the opposite of loud. He listens. Not to score points, to be present. Sophie notices. When he sits quiet, the world around her shrinks and she finally feels seen. Presence done right is surgical. It isolates the moment, magnifies the exchange, and makes her remember how it felt to be truly heard. You sharpen that edge by practicing attention. No phone, no rescue solutions, no outfit of charm. Listen like a predator listens for a single movement in the grass. Not to trap, but to understand. When most men shout to be heard, you hold the silence that does the real work. 3. Emotional connection through presence. Being there and being felt are not the same thing. Plenty of men sit beside women and never reach her core. The difference is emotional discipline and the courage to be steady in the storm. Chris does everything right: dates, gifts, constant availability. But when she opens up, he panics, starts fixing, starts proving. Fixing is the cheapest currency. Witnessing is the prized one. When you stop trying to manufacture intimacy and instead create a safe, unflinching space, you invite truth. She gives you the things other men trade away for applause. Practice these moves, ask deeper questions, sit with hard answers, resist the impulse to rescue. Let the vulnerability belong to her for a moment and show you can hold it. That steadiness is addictive. It converts attention into trust and trust into something close to addiction. 4. Emotional discipline over drama. Drama is a reaction, discipline is a decision. The second you let your emotions rule, you lose your center and with it, respect. Throwing fits, begging for certainty, showing visible anxiety, these are the cheap theatrics that push her away. But discipline is not emotional deadness. It's mastering your inner weather so your behavior is chosen, not reflexive. When a late reply stings, you don't explode or grovel. You choose. You breathe. You act from purpose. That steadiness reads as strength. It reads as leadership. Real rules: don't escalate to punish. Don't weaponize silence as cruelty. Control your reaction to create safety, not fear. Keep standards. If the relationship breaks trust, you act with consequence, not chaos. Consequence with dignity is terrifyingly effective. 5. Self-mastery, the final claim. All the tricks collapse without a life that's actually worth choosing. The final law is brutal: be the man who would survive and thrive whether she stays or goes. Build rituals, ambitions, friends, a body that commands space, a craft that eats your attention, and a life other people want to be part of. Marcus stops chasing. He doubles down on work, art, training. He doesn't perform for women, he performs for himself. The result: he becomes rare. People don't pursue a shadow, they pursue a source. His confidence is not loud, it's impenetrable. Women notice because everyone does. Not because he plays tricks, because he won't trade his standard for temporary approval. This is the ultimate edge. The world is full of men who adjust their lives around validation. You do not. You attract through existence, not through pursuit. You become the prize no one thought they could take. 5. The power of absence. Most men kill their value by clinging. They think constant presence equals security, but obsession doesn't grow in light, it grows in shadows. The man who understands absence controls the frame. Absence is not ghosting. It's calculated withdrawal. You step back not to punish, but to remind her of scarcity. The rarest metals are guarded. The rarest leaders are unreachable. Why would your time, your energy, your essence be given like cheap entertainment? Picture Adrian. He doesn't chase. He doesn't drown her with notifications. When she leaves him waiting, he doesn't react, he leaves space. That space becomes unbearable. She replays his silence, questions herself, searches for signals in his absence. That's the hook. He doesn't fight for her attention. He lets her starve for it. Machiavelli would call this a brutal art, the absence that inflames. A presence too constant loses weight. An absence too long loses hold. But the man who vanishes just enough becomes unforgettable. He is felt in the silence, hunted in her mind when no one else is around. Here's the move: don't broadcast every thought. Don't chase every text. Leave pauses, gaps, unanswered spaces. Let her wonder. Let her imagination do what your words never could. Desire lives in the unknown, not the predictable. Absence is not neglected strategy. You give less, but what you give burns brighter. You disappear, but when you return, it feels like a storm breaking the drought. The crowd suffocates her with attention. You haunt her with mystery. The truth? The men she forgets are the ones who never allowed absence. The man she obsesses over is the one who made her feel his silence. Point 6. The shadow of mystery. Mystery is theft by omission. It's the practiced habit of being readable only when it serves you. Most men hand over their life like an open book. The rare man keeps pages glued shut. Mystery isn't lying, it's selective truth. It's the art of revealing just enough for intrigue, never enough for ownership. Imagine a room where everything is visible at once. Nothing looks valuable because nothing is hidden. Now imagine one locked drawer. Suddenly everyone leans in. The drawer is small but the tension is enormous. That drawer is your mystery. How to cultivate it without becoming toxic. Keep a private access: goals, rituals, friendships she cannot access casually. Share stories, but stop before the ending. Make her supply the finish. Be inconsistent in the smallest, richest ways. A man who sometimes disappears for hours and other times shows up as if summoned creates a pattern that haunts. Protect a core of yourself that is non-negotiable and uninterested in explanation. You don't justify your life to anyone. When you become partly unknowable, people do what humans always do with the unknown. They invent reasons, assign value, chase answers. Mystery converts curiosity into pursuit. It is not deceit. It is the preservation of your sovereignty. The more you're needed to decode, the longer she will stay decoding. 7 Calibrated challenge, make her work for you. This is brutality wrapped in etiquette. Attraction is a contest of resources, time, attention, vulnerability. You don't win by giving these away freely. You win by making them worth the effort. A calibrated challenge is not humiliation. It's a test of priorities. It's an invitation to prove interest, small, controlled obstacles that show whether she values what you offer. The man who accepts everything is never desired. The man who requires investment is pursued. Examples that don't harm: keep plans tentative until she shows commitment, require thoughtful replies rather than reflexive emoticons, invest in experiences that demand planning instead of passive consumption. These little requirements separate the curious from the committed. Do this with dignity. Don't manufacture pain to prove value. Don't gaslight or punish. Create standards and hold them. Standards are the border of your life. Those who cross it willingly show they belong. Those who won't, don't. 8 The iron rule, self-mastery before seduction. All technique collapses without the backbone of a life you refuse to barter. Discipline, health, craft, friendships, financial sanity, these are not vanity projects. They are the scaffolding of your Valusani. He man who trains his body, sharpens his mind, and builds a life outside of desire becomes, by default, irresistible. He isn't performing to attract, he is performing to live. That authenticity is nuclear. People don't fall for men who fake magnitude. They fall for men who actually are large. Make it a ritual. Train, read, create, meet friends, finish tasks. Do it every day. Not for her. For yourself. Attraction will follow because the man you become is the prize. This isn't an instruction manual to break people. It's a blueprint to stop shrinking for approval. Use these laws to take your dignity back, not to manipulate, harass, or coerce. There's a line between strategy and cruelty. The rare man never crosses it because he doesn't need to. Walk through the rules. 1. Presence over possessions, make presence strategic. 2. Rarity of true presence, cultivate silence like currency. 3. Emotional connection through presence, witness more, perform less. 4. Emotional discipline over drama, reaction is cheap, consequence is costly. 5. Power of absence, withdraw to reveal value. 6. Shadow of mystery, keep a locked drawer. 7. Calibrated challenge, make investment a measuring stick. 8. Self-mastery before seduction, build a life worth choosing. If you apply even half of this, you stop being an option. You become an axis people orbit. Everyone watches the flashy man and misses the quiet predator, the one with nothing to prove and everything to lose. You think status wins. It doesn't. Desire lives in the pause, the silence, the guarded life. Learn the 7 laws that turn absence into magnetism, mystery into obsession, and presence into power. Stay, this changes everything.